we have discussed about JavaScript programming, and we have discussed what exactly the JavaScript programming and what is the use and what we can do with the help of JavaScript programming and what kind of business logics we can implement through JavaScript we have discussed. And we have discussed about the various benefits of JavaScript programming and where we can use JavaScript programming we have discussed. And we have discussed the various JavaScript frameworks or the libraries that we have in IT industry we have discussed in the previous session. And then we have discussed about the various fundamental building blocks that JavaScript offers we have discussed. And we have discussed about a fundamental building block called as variables. Then what exactly the variable and what it indicates, how to define a variable in JavaScript we have discussed in the previous session. And whenever we are going to be defining the variables inside this JavaScript, we used to follow certain naming conventions or the standards or the rules of JavaScript programming. That already have listed out few points which we used to consider upon giving the JavaScript variable name. Upon defining the JavaScript variable, so we need to follow certain rules. I have given few rules yesterday, like the first one, whenever we are creating a JavaScript variable, the variable name should be always a single word. It should not have any spaces. JavaScript variable name should not have any spaces inside that. Variable name should be always a single word. Next, second principle. Upon creating a variable, JavaScript variable name can include alphanumerical characters along with the special characters like dollar and underscore. Only these two special characters will be acceptable. Third one, whenever we are creating this JavaScript variable, we don't have any limitation for the number of characters for variable name. Upon giving the variable name, we can give a small name also or a bit lengthy name also. You can provide no limitations at all for the number of characters inside your JavaScript variable name. And the fourth one, whenever we are defining the JavaScript variable name should be always starts with either a character or either underscore or either dollar. But it should not be starts with a digit. That is the principle as part of JavaScript programming. And the fifth one, whenever we are defining the JavaScript variable name, don't use the reserved words of JavaScript. Like var, it's a standard keyword in JavaScript. If is a standard keyword. Switch, it's a standard keyword. Else, it's a standard keyword. While, it's a standard keyword. For, it's a standard keyword. These are few standard keywords are available. Reserved words are available. We can't use these reserved words for your variable names because these are already utilizing by JavaScript. So we can't use these reserved words for your variable names. We have to give different variable names over there. Okay, understand the concept here? Now let's see. So let's make a note of these rules over here. First rule, JavaScript variable name should be always a single word. That is, it should not have any spaces inside this. Variable name doesn't have any spaces. JavaScript variable name can include alphanumerical characters. JavaScript variable name can include alphanumerical characters and two special characters, two special characters like dollar and underscore. Third one, variable name should be always starts with either a character or dollar or underscore. But it should not be starts with a digit. We don't have any limit for the number of characters in variable name. And the fifth one, we can't use reserved words or system defined words for the variable names. For example, where, if, else, while, switch, for, etc. These kind of names we can't use for our variable names. I will show you with the practical concept as well here now. At this point now. So then let's see how can we define these variables. Let me show you. I'm using this browser here. Right click on the browser, click on inspect. Now click on console. Now we can able to clear this screen. You will be having a small option, clear the console over here, or else you can use the shortcut control L. Now the console will be getting cleared out. Now here you can able to define the variable here. I'm defining the variable. For example, where it is providing IntelliSense options over here. Now I'm indicating that student code. Student code. Here I'm giving this variable name over here. Okay, student code. So now press enter. Now it will be acceptable as it is over here. Okay, it will be acceptable as it is. I'm defining a variable here. Student name 1, 2, 3. That means characters and alphanumerical values I'm using here. It is also acceptable here. I'm defining the variable name. So now student email, I'm indicating underscore. Okay, 1, 2, 3 underscore here. I'm using alphanumerical characters along with underscore symbol also the variable name. It is also accepted over here. Where student name 1, 2, 3 underscore dollar. I'm using dollar also here. It is also accepted over here. That means whenever we are defining the variable name can include alphanumerical characters and then along with the dollar and then so we'll be having underscore symbol. Suppose for example, if I'm giving any other characters here, where student name 1, 2, 3 underscore, I'm using hash symbol here. It will show the error message here. Invalid or unexpected token. That means you can't use all the special characters available inside your keyboard. We can use either underscore or we can use the help of the dollar symbol. Only these two will be acceptable. Remaining special characters will not be allowed. Okay, next. Now while defining the variable here, I have started with letter character over here. Now I'm starting with dollar. Dollar, I'm indicating where dollar balance amount. Balance amount 1, 2, 3. I'm using this dollar here. Dollars balance amount 1, 2, 3. This will be acceptable as it is. Where I'm indicating underscore here. I'm starting the variable name with underscore. Underscore. Now I would like to specify email 1, 2, 3 dollar. So now here I'm using this variable name email 1, 2, 3, 4 dollar, but it starts with underscore here. Now press enter. This is also accepted over here. I'm using where I'm giving 1, 2, 3. Now I would like to specify active status. I have started the variable name with the digit here. When you press enter, it won't accept. Because that already here we have given this note point here as part of this JavaScript. JavaScript variable name should be always start with either a character or dollar or underscore. We can't start the variable name with a digit over here. It won't support it by JavaScript. And in JavaScript here, variable name can include alphanumerical characters and dollar and then underscore. Okay, understood the concept over here? Now, let's see. Now this is the first thing over here. Okay, these are the principles. For example, let me give that variable names here. Where customer code 1, 2, 3. Where customer name 1, 2, 3 underscore. Where customer name 1, 2, 3 underscore dollar. We can specify. Where I'm indicating dollar balance amount. Where underscore email address. It is accepting here. When you specify 1, 2, 3 active status, it will show the error message. It will show error message, which will be representing the error message over there. $1, 2, 3 accepted. Next one, commenting statements. So what do you mean by these commenting statements now? What is the use of commenting statements? Okay. Now basically, commenting statements are used to comment few lines inside your code. For example, assume that 6 months back we got a requirement. During that time we have implemented some feature by writing some piece of code. We have written some 200 lines of code over here as part of our requirement, which is 6 months back. Now in the 6 months, the business has been changed. Now the client asks us to remove some of the conditions. They don't want to execute some conditions over here. Now, in that case, these are the lines where we have applied the conditions over here. Now, these are 3 lines of code they don't want to execute. So because this condition is not required, don't check this condition over here. So now execute the remaining statements as it is as part of a new requirement here. So now here in the case, what needs to be done? What are the few lines of code that we have inside an application? These few lines of code, I don't want to compile, I don't want to execute. So in that case here, I want to make this code should be silent. This code should not be compiled, this code should not be executed here. So I want to make this code should be in silent mode. So now for that reason, if you want to comment some lines of code, if you want to comment some lines of code inside your application development, we can use the help of commenting statements. So whatever the lines you have commented lines of code will not be compiled, it will not be getting executed here, it will not be counting as part of your Apex characters limit over there in Apex programming also. Now, so now here in this case here, okay, now here in this case, how can we comment this code here? Whenever we are commenting few lines of code, we are having two types of commenting statements are available. First one, single line comment. Second one, multi-line comment. Okay, single line comment, multi-line comment here. So what do you mean by single line comment? What do you mean by multi-line comment here? So whenever we are observing this code, this is a third line I don't want to execute. So simply I would like to comment only this line over a single line. In that case, in front of this line, in front of this code, just we can specify two forward slashes. Whenever we are indicating two forward slashes here, this particular line of code will not be compiled, it will not be executed here. So that code will be available, but that code will be in hidden state here. That will not be compiled, that will not be executed as part of your application. This is one way. Multi-line comments. Suppose if you want to compile or comment some multiple lines of content, like for example, some line 5 to line 10. In that case, we can specify a forward slash and a star, and here we can specify a star and a forward slash. This is the starting, this is the ending here. In between these two, what are the lines of code that you have prepared? This code will not be compiled, this code will not be executed here. So that if you want to comment a single line, we have to use this format. To comment the multiple line, we have to use this format here as part of JavaScript. Not only in JavaScript, this commenting line statement or the functions will be common in most of the programming languages. In Pascal also, C also, C++, Java, C Sharp, in our Apex programming, in our JavaScript, the same commenting style. When you go to that, okay, markup languages, like as your Lightning framework, then in that case, how can we comment the lines of code? We can specify a less than symbol and an exclamation, two hyphens over here. Here we can specify the statements whatever you want, and then we can give two hyphens and then greater than symbol. This is a commenting statement. Only one commenting statement is available in HTML or markup languages. It may be single line or multiple line, same here. But as part of programming languages, these are the two types of commenting statements: single line, multi-line comments. Then generally, why we will go with these commenting statements? Basically, commenting statements will be used to give some description about the code, a description about the application here based on your requirement for the application or for the code which are written. If you want to give some comments, if you want to give some description, if you want to give some usage of that application feature, then we can use the help of commenting statements. Okay, understand the concept here? Now, in order to give some comments or description about the code, we are going to be using the help of commenting statements over there. Okay, now make a note of this one here. Now let's see. Commenting statements are used to comment either one or more lines of code inside the JavaScript. The commented lines of code will not get interpreted and will not get executed in the application. Will not get interpreted and will not get executed in the application. By using commenting statements, we can provide the description or comments about the application or feature. JavaScript provides two types of commenting statements. First one, single line comment. This can be used to comment only one line. For example, we can specify two forward slashes, write the statement to be commented. Second one, multi-line comment. This is used to comment the multiple lines of code in the application. Here we can specify the forward slash and the star and star and the forward slash. In Apex programming, also same commenting statements. Write the statements to comment. Now, the next one, data types. So we have to understand what exactly a data type and what it indicates. So what data types are available in JavaScript? Okay, now let's see one by one. So that already we know, basically data type describes two things. Okay, data type describes two things. The first one, what type of data the variable can hold. Okay, whenever I'm defining the variable, it will be indicating what type of data the variable can hold. And then it will indicate how much memory needs to be get reserved for the variable that will be indicating by data type. So data type indicates what type of data the variable can hold inside this. And in order to hold that data, how much memory needs to be get reserved that will be indicating by data type. Now, as part of your JavaScript, we are having 8 data types are available. JavaScript provides 8 data types. Then what are those 8 data types that we have? Now let me explain one by one. The first one we have number data type. Second one, string. Third one, boolean. Fourth one, begin. Okay, begin. Fifth one, undefined. Sixth one, null. Seventh one, object. Eighth one, symbol. Okay, symbol. These are the 8 data types. We have number, string, boolean, begin, undefined, null, object, symbol. These are the 8 data types are available here as part of your JavaScript programming here. But all the data types we are not using here. Few data types we are using, like number type, string type, boolean type, undefined type, null type, object type. But we are not using, okay, but we are not using that symbol type also over here. Okay, we're not using symbol data type over there. Okay, now let's see. Now let's see in this case here, what are the data types are available here. What each data type indicates, let's see. Data type describes, data type describes what type of data the variable can hold inside it, and to store the data, how much memory needs to be get reserved. Needs to be get reserved. JavaScript provides the below 8 data types. So whatever the information that I'm giving as part of this JavaScript, it's equivalent to your Salesforce and JavaScript certification related information. I'm not giving what is what concept here. Now I'm giving the complete information of JavaScript. So in Salesforce, we have one specific certification especially for JavaScript. So now with this training, we can create the JavaScript certification from Salesforce as well. Now the first one, number. Second one, string. Third one, boolean. Fourth one, begin. Fifth one, undefined. Sixth one, null. Seventh one, object. And the eighth one, symbol. These are the 8 data types are available. As part of JavaScript, we are having this 8. But as part of your JavaScript programming, we are using number, we are using string and the boolean, undefined, null, and the object. But we are not using begin, we are not using symbol. Okay, these are not required here as part of our Lightning framework. Remaining 6 we are going to use. Now, let's see what exactly the number data type indicates, what type of data that we can store, okay, as part of this number. Now, let me explain. Each and every data type we'll see. Number data type. So what do you mean by this number data type now? Digits. Okay, now digits means what? Only integer part or decimal values also? Decimal values also, because when you go to Apex programming, we are having okay separated data types for integer part, like as integer and the log. We have separated data types for okay double and the decimal for decimal digits. But here, as part of JavaScript, we are having simply number data type, which allows us to store numerical values inside the variable, which includes decimal digits also. It may be integer part, it may be decimal part also. Both we can store inside this number data type variable. And then we can store both the positive values, negative values also, minus also we can able to store inside that. Okay, we can store positive values, negative values of both also inside this variable. That possibility is available as part of your JavaScript number data type in this case. Now, here in this case, you can raise a question. Sir, as of now, we have defined some variables over here. If I'm not defining any value, if I'm not assigning any value for the variable, what value it will store? Generally, when you go to the normal Apex programming for a variable, if I'm not assigning any value, what is the default value will store by Salesforce? Null. It will store null. But as part of JavaScript programming, upon defining the variable, if it did not assign any value, by default JavaScript will assign the value as undefined. Okay. In JavaScript, whenever we are defining the variable, if it did not assign any value, then by default it will store the default value as undefined. That is the default functionality in JavaScript. Okay, so that in this case JavaScript will allow us to store both positive values, negative values also both. That's what here. Let's see, for example, I'm defining a variable here where customer code have we assigned any value over here? No. Now when you press enter here, if you want to print that value, we can print console.log. I'm indicating customer code is, I want to show the value here. Now in this customer code variable, whatever the value we have stored, that value would like to print. What is the value that we have now? Now customer code is what? Undefined, because we haven't assigned any value over here. Okay, we haven't assigned any value. That's why it is storing the default value as undefined. Okay, now so in this case here, so now as part of this JavaScript programming, it won't store the default value as null, it will store undefined. Okay, now make a note of this one here. Number data type, it allows us to store the numerical values inside the variable, which includes both integer type and decimal type of values. Now we can store both positive number and negative number also, negative value inside the variable, both positive and the negative value. But we have a range over here. Upon storing this numerical value inside this variable, so each and every number type value should be having the range between minus 2 to the power of 53 to plus 2 to the power of 53 minus 1. This is the range which has been given by JavaScript. In JavaScript, the numerical variable value range should be between plus or minus 2 to the power of 53 minus 1. Now, we can store the numerical value between the range minus 2 to the power of 53 to plus 2 to the power of 53 minus 1. For example, where customer code equals to some 1290046, we can assign. Where customer balance amount equals to now 459.45. Where customer code equals to minus 0. Where customer code equals to 0. Where customer code equals to infinity. Where customer code equals to minus infinity. Now, note, while defining the variable, if the user did not assign any value, then JavaScript will store the value as undefined by default. Undefined by default. Done with this? Next. The third data type is the second data type string. Here we don't have integer long, right? Only one number data type here. Both are mixing here. Now depends upon the value which you are going to store, it will be allocating the memory automatically here. Now, Next one, string data type. That is for what? To store that character values. Okay, in order to store the character values, we are using the help of string data type. Now tell me, do we have any specific data type to store one single character? Sometimes I want to store only the gender. Like for example, yeah, I want to store some name, like as for example, some Ramesh Kumar. I want to store his email ID, like as some pavan.kumar123 at the rate some gmail.com. Sometimes I would like to store his address, okay, flat number, okay, 506, and then I'm indicating some Satya Sai apartments, Yasar Nagar, some Hyderabad. I'm storing some address over here. In this case, whenever we are storing some character values, it may be single character, multiple characters. It may be purely characters also, alphanumerical values also, alphanumerical values along with the special characters also. Here we are using dot, at the rate symbol also, hash also, comma also, space also. Like that, we are going to be using various special characters. In this case, in order to store this kind of content, we are using the help of string data type. So string data type allows us to store either one single character or multiple characters also, along with the special characters, along with alphanumerical characters also inside it. Okay. Now in this case, when coming to the JavaScript, whenever we are going to be using this string characters content, this string content can be enclosed with either single quote or double quote or backticks character also. Three formats will be supporting by JavaScript. So whenever I'm using this content of type string inside the JavaScript, whatever the JavaScript content that we have, we can enclose the content with a single quote also, double quotes also, or it may be by using backticks character also. This is called as backticks character, which will be available at the top left corner of your system's keyboard. All these three formats will be getting supported by JavaScript. But in some cases in JavaScript, especially when you go to the string interpolation concept, compulsorily we are using this backticks characters. Whenever we are using the string interpolation feature, compulsorily we have to use this backticks character. We'll see what is the string interpolation. How can we do that? Okay, we'll see practically during the time. Now, now here in this case, whenever we are storing some character type of content, we can able to use this kind of format. Clear? Now, understood the concept now? If it is Apex programming, only single code. Here, we can use anything whatever you want. Okay, one variable with single quote, one variable with a double quotes, one variable with a backticks. You can define, no problem. It's your choice. Okay. Now, it allows us to store the character values inside the variable, which can hold either a single character or multiple characters, along with special characters with alphanumerical number inside it. Note. Each string value should be enclosed with either single quote or double quote or backticks character. For example, I'm using single quote here. Next one, Boolean data type. This is for what? True or false, right? In order to store some true or false values inside this variable, we are using the help of Boolean data type. It allows us to store either true or false value inside the variable. For example, I'm indicating where is active equals to true. Don't enclose this true in the single quote. Please remember the point here. Don't enclose this true in the single quote. Give like the normal mechanism here. Don't use any single quotes, double quotes, nothing. Where is in stock equals to false. Suppose if you're enclosing this content inside the single quote, it will treat it as string value. Okay, so please remember the point here. Next one. undefined. So what do you mean by this undefined? Undefined is nothing but, okay, it's an unrecognized value or an undefined value, an unknown value. So now here in this case, whenever we are going to be defining the variable, if you did not assign any value for the variable, by default, okay, JavaScript will store the default value as undefined. Okay, in Apex programming we are getting null, but here we are getting undefined over. Okay, now undefined is nothing but an unrecognized or unreferenced value, or unknown or unreferenced value. While defining the variable, if the user did not assign any value, then JavaScript will store the default value as undefined. Next one, null. Null is nothing but empty. Okay, null is nothing but empty. It is used to store the empty value inside the variable. In order to make that variable value empty, we are using this. Here I'm giving some descriptions also here. For example, where customer code equals to undefined, where customer name. It also will store undefined. Null value to make that variable value empty here. Now we are indicating where. Now I would like to specify product value, product name equals to null. These are the various data types that we are using as part of your JavaScript. Object we'll see later because object concept will be a big topic over here. We'll see at the last. After the arrays, we'll see objects. Now, but the symbol and the begin we are not going to be using in Lightning framework anywhere, so these two are not required. Next one, operators. So what do you mean by an operator now? Okay, so basically, operator is nothing but a symbol which can be used to perform certain operations on operands. So now as part of my application, upon building the logic, we are going to be defining some variables. Inside those variables, we are holding some values. On those values, we are performing certain operations so that to do the operations on the values, we are using the help of some systematic notations. Those are called as operators. So operator is nothing but a symbol which can perform certain operations on operands. Now, in JavaScript, we are having 5 categories of operators are available. JavaScript provides 5 categories of operators. First one, arithmetic operators. These are called as mathematical operators. Second one, relational operators. These are also called as comparison. Third one, logical operators. Fourth one, assignment operators. Fifth one, conditional operators. Okay, conditional operators. No increment or decremental here. Okay, increment and decremental comes under mathematical only here by default. Okay, so now in JavaScript we have 5 categories of operators: mathematical operators, relational operators, logical operators, assignment operators, conditional operators. These are the 5 types of operators are available. What are those operators that are available in each and every category? We'll see one by one here. Okay, now make a note of this one. Operator is nothing but a symbol which can perform certain operations on the operands. By using operators, we can prepare our own mathematical expressions. We can prepare our own mathematical expressions. Now, JavaScript provides the below 5 categories of operators. First one, arithmetic or mathematical operators. As part of this arithmetic, we are having addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the modulus. In Apex programming, for the modulus, we are using math.mod, but we no need to use that here. JavaScript is having percentage. And then we have plus plus, minus minus. These are the various mathematical or arithmetic operators that we have in JavaScript. Second one, relational are comparison operators. These are used to compare the values because you know this concept here. That's what I'm not giving the notes points here. Okay, because in Apex programming already we know. Now, basically, relational operators or comparison operators are used to compare the two values, to map the relation between the two variable values. Now, as part of this relational operators, we are having less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, not equals to, and then we can able to compare equals to over here. Now, and then we are having triple equals, double equals, and the triple equals here. Double equals is for what? Triple equals for what? Both are for comparison. Then what is this the difference between these two? Which one is binary comparison then? Now, so now whenever we are comparing the values, we have discussed there are two types of comparisons: text comparison, binary comparison over here. In Apex programming, text comparison will be done with the help of double equals. Binary comparison will be done with the help of what? Equals a function. Now, in JavaScript, this equals method has been given in the form of triple equals. Triple equals means binary comparison. Double equals means a text comparison over here. This is the difference. Now, this is used for text comparison. This is used for binary comparison. Third one, logical operators. We know the same. Here we are having and, or, not, the same. Two ampersand symbols, two pipe symbols, and an exclamation symbol here. Fourth one, assignment operators. What assignment operators you know? What assignment operators we have? Okay, equal, single equals, okay, right, plus equals to, minus equals to, multiply equals to, division equals to, and the modulus equals to also in JavaScript. Okay, all these operators are available in assignment operators in JavaScript. Now, so now to increment the value by 1, we are using plus plus. To increment the value by 2 or 3 or 10 or 100, we can use plus equals here. So these are few shortcut mechanisms that we are using as part of programming here. These are used to assign the values: equals to, addition assignment, subtraction assignment, multiplication assignment, division assignment, and the modulus assignment here. The fifth one, conditional operators. Done with this? Next, the last one, conditional operators. You know, if condition, okay, switch statement, and then we are having while is a looping statement, iterative statement. Yes. Simply if, okay, no else if, okay. Now, if conditional statement, and then we are having ternary operator, switch statement. Only these three over here. Okay. Now, conditional operators we are having if condition, second one switch statement, third one ternary operator. These are comes under conditional operators over here. Okay, these are the 5 categories of operators that we have in JavaScript. We are having this, okay, mathematical operators, relational operators, and then we are having logical operators, assignment operators, and the conditional operators. Now, by using these operators, we can perform certain operations on your operands, and then we can produce some results. Once the results has been produced, then how can we print the result on the browser log? Inside the browser log file, how can we print? For that one, we are using the help of output statements. Output statements are used to print the results of your, okay, operation. Once operation has been done or once expression has been executed, whatever the results has been generated, those results we can able to print on the browser log file with the help of output statements. So here we are having, okay, four statements are available over here. Four statements are available as part of JavaScript. Now, the first one, console.log. Okay, I will explain this first. What is the use of console.log? Let me explain here. Console.log. Here I want to print some message here. Like for example, welcome to JavaScript programming. Welcome to JavaScript programming. Console.log. As part of your Apex programming, we are using system.debug, which will be writing the result inside the debug log file. But here, this is the console of the browser. This is the browser console. Now, inside the browser, that means in order to show this screen, whatever the HTML code they have written, that HTML code we can able to see over here. See, there is a part over here. Okay, here's the division here. All completely they are using divisions and the body tags over here. They're indicating this all this information. Now there is a header tag over here. They're having this CSS also. Complete content, we can able to see that. Login Salesforce. It is indicating this information over there. This is the title of this page over here. Login Salesforce. Now they're indicating this style sheet information. All the styles will be available over there. Script tag, they're going to be using this script tag over here. They're indicating this information. Which one? No, you can't modify this code over here. Inside the notepad, you can modify, but here you can't change this one here because this is a built-in code generated by the native browser engine. The browser engine is going to be generating this code over here, so you can't modify these values. Inside the frame, it will be indicating this. The complete content we can able to show over here. Now there is a Salesforce content over here. Now Salesforce incorporation, all rights reserved over here. It is indicating this content also. Then here they're indicating this part. This is the wrapper. Now this part is nothing but here. This is the content here. That part will be implemented. This part is implemented with the help of this wrapper here. Now, after that, they're indicating display part. It is indicating this display block. This block has been prepared with the help of this block over here in this division. In this division, they're indicating this information. The content, whatever they want, manager control here, they're indicating the whole information as well. Inside this division, they can able to see that div tag also again to show the error messages. Now they're indicating the content. Inside one div tag, they're using another div tag over here. Because that's what I told you here. We can able to implement nested div tags also, completely div tags and HTML content. Okay. Now this is the browser here. Now here is the console. Now in this browser console, if you want to print some message, we can use console.log. Then it will be printing that message directly here. Welcome to JavaScript program. It's a normal result message. Suppose if you want to show some warning message, there we are having console.warn. There is a method called as console.warn method. Now I would like to indicate here. Please enter the valid input values. I want to print some message here. Whenever I'm going to be executing the statement, it will show the message which I have entered with along with the warning message here. It will show the warning message over here. Okay. No, we can't increase this font size over here. Okay, we can't increase this font size. That's what here. Tomorrow I will show you how to install VS Code Editor. Okay, there we can see with a bigger picture. Now, if you want to show some error message to the people, we can use console.error. Now something went wrong. Something went wrong. Operation failed. In that case, it will show that message on the browser log along with the error icon over here. It will show with an error icon. So for the normal results, we can use console.log. For warning message, we are using console.warn. For error message, we are representing console.error. These are the three different methods are available inside this console class. If you want to show that error message in the form of a dialog box here, then here we are having the fourth option, alert. In this alert box, we can specify here. Now, welcome to JavaScript programming. Welcome to JavaScript programming. When you press enter, it will show the alert message over here. It will show that alert message. Whatever the content that we have specified, the content will be getting visible. So these are the four formats are available to represent the results on the browser console. We are having the console.log, console.warn, console.error, and then we are having alert method. These are the four methods are available to represent the result. Depends upon your requirement. Okay, now make a note of this one. Yes, after typing this content, press enter. Automatically, it will be executing over there. Now, make a note of this one. Output statements. These are used to represent the application results on the browser console or inside a dialog box. First one, console.log. Now I'm placing this content over here. The first way. Second way, console.warn. Third way, console.error. Console is a built-in class. Fourth one, alert message. These are the various output statements are available here. With this one, the basic fundamental features are done. Then how to use these features, how to write some small programs, tomorrow we'll see by using VS Code editor. Tomorrow I will show you how to install VS Code editor here, and then we'll see how can we write this business logic. We'll see one by one. No, today not continue here because here I haven't informed to the people actually. That's what. Okay, tomorrow we'll be having this VS Code editor separately for our sessions. Okay, today we don't have the continuation session here. Okay, so now tomorrow we'll be having this VS Code installation steps, and then I will show you how can we connect with your Salesforce arc. But during that lightning okay, web components, I won't show this option again because right now tomorrow itself I will explain this complete process. Clear? So tomorrow we'll see the practical concepts on this JavaScript programming here, how to implement. We'll see one by one. Thank you.